Spence Nowinski gets hired, and we neglected this last week, but it was sort of when he got hired. Did you notice it was sort of like in the dark of the night? Like it didn't really get announced, and then they finally immediately announced it, like on the Memphis football Twitter and Instagram. But Spence Nowinski comes to the University of Memphis to be the assistant defensive coordinator and the defensive line coach, and he replaces Lou Esposito, who came here for what, month and a half, 2 months?
3 practices.
Ended up leaving, going to Michigan. We don't blame him. We've talked about that.
He left. We figured it out on Untapped. He left with like 15 minutes left in the last section of practice.
That's bad. That's not good. But what blows me away is, I'll give you the stats here in a second, but Spence Nowinski, hired as the assistant defensive coordinator, D-line coach, the same exact thing that Lou Esposito came here for. I was excited about Lou.
Yeah.
Former Memphis guy.
Oh, yeah,
great
absolutely.
coach, has been a DC at Western Michigan, has experience there, brings some experience to help out Jordan Hankins as a defensive coordinator, defensive play caller. So I loved that hire. And when he left, I'm like, damn, short notice. Who are they going to turn around and go get? Like, who's out there?
It's tough.
Spence Nowinski, for those that don't understand how good he is at his job, he had 1 year as a defensive coordinator at Ohio.
Hit me with
1 year.
Hit me with those numbers, baby.
And they were the #1 group of 5 defense when he was the defensive coordinator. They improved.
Sign me up.
They improved their yards per game. I think it was like an 80 spot jump.
Yeah.
To see the turnaround from Lou to Spence be so fast and for you to fall upwards, I just can't get over it, man. And it does. I think there's a couple things it highlights. One, Ryan knows what he wants and he can go get what he wants in the coaching staff, like on the coaching staff. And two, this Memphis job, as opposed to Ohio, as opposed to some of these middle MAC jobs, as opposed to some of these middle AAC jobs,
lateral movement,
huge step up.
In
huge
terms of the
step
job,
up as
lateral.
far as the job and the thought process.
That's right.
It's a lateral move to be a defensive coordinator to a D-line coach, or a defensive coordinator at Ohio to a D-line coach at Memphis.
It's crazy.
That's like he took that job to step down, not be a defensive play caller, but to be a D-line coach.
It's crazy.
And to help out with some of the defensive play calling. Just help
He'll
out.
do some of that, right?
He's assistant D coordinator, so I could see where
Esposito was
he was co-assistant, same thing, kind
Same
of.
thing?
I don't know. Usually hear co-DC.
You don't want somebody. You don't want 2 different voices calling out plays on a headset. You want
either
one.
way to fall up into that. Man, can I be completely honest? Ryan, as much as people were doubting it,
man's in his bag
before
right
this
now.
year, he's holding up his end of the bargain to try to get into a Power 5 conference.
He's in his bag right now. Bro.
They are. If you go over to that facility, they are operating like some of the best Power 5 programs you could imagine.
What does that look like? Like, what do you mean by that?
Just so segmented, understood. They're doing well in the classroom. He's got pillars of the program that they all lean on to.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, Kenny, this blows me away. And I love Lauren Hillman. She used to be my academic counselor when I was
Lauren is awesome, by the way.
But she's now like the player outreach.
Yeah.
She does that.
Like
player
community outreach type of stuff.
And she gets all of them in the community. But I went to a damn networking night about a month and a half ago where there's 16 tables set up for these guys to network with some guys in the community so they can have like numbers and be able to get, translate to a job when they get done with football. Like they're just operating. They have a GM.
Love it.
They're just operating at a very high level right now. And I think like as much as you don't want to make it an excuse, the first few years for Ryan and like trying to get used to the first head coaching job, it had to be a learning experience. You go COVID, NIL, transfer portal, like that's a lot. Everybody had to deal with it.
2 of your best skills players in the first like however many games. Yeah.
Everybody had to deal with it.
Right.
But I think that we're finally seeing him shoot out the other side and understand it.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're seeing right now. Now this year will tell us everything we need to know.
Everything.
But I don't know how you can't have high hopes.
I mean, it definitely feels like Ryan Silverfield has had a lot of wins and very few losses this offseason. In the last few off seasons.
And even the loss he had, like we just talked about Lou.
Yeah.
Lou leaves. You bring in a better coach to be in to take
No
that
offense
role
to-
over.
no offense to Big Lou,
No
but-
offense to Lou, but this
Lou
guy,
got a
Spence
Michigan
was
job.
the best defensive coordinator in the Group of 5 last year.
Yeah.
Like by the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's just it doesn't happen like that all the time. Even you take a loss and you make right on that loss immediately.
Like, and I think one of the low key ones that people are talking about, but I don't think they understand, especially in the transfer portal era. Your starting quarterback is in his 4th year of eligibility, and he will have been your starter for 4 straight years. Monster.
It's gonna be really hard for that to happen ever again.
When is that going to happen ever again?
I don't know.
And so it's like these little wins of like the continuity of roster, and this is all goes back to what you were discussing. If you walk into that facility and you see this thing's humming like a machine because there is an ethos and a culture
Yes, like,
over it that is just.
That's what I'm saying.
great.
I mean, maybe it took a while for like the Mike's Musk to be out of that room, and some of the guys got recruited by Mike, may have wanted to go elsewhere, but now like Ryan's got his guys in there.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's all together. It's cohesive. It just feels like there's a different culture being created over there, and it's just humming. I'm just telling you from the inside, like looking at how these guys operate day to day, it really is moving in a unbelievable direction.
But again, and to like not to all the fans that are watching this, they're going to go, get off football's nuts, right? Like, but
I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it.
But what I'll say is that means all this humming the right way means it has to translate to wins.
100%. That's why I said we'll see what it looks like when they hit
No
the field.
excuses now.
This has to be a 10-win season.
Yeah. Has to be.
You have to be competing for a conference championship. Because you just look around, man. UTSA has no quarterback. Tulane has a new coach. South Florida is good, but are they there yet? They shouldn't be there yet.
Golish is a hell of a coach, though.
SMU's gone.
SMU's not there anymore.
There just comes a point where you got to be like, all right, brother. Now, and I did see, and this is just a little bit of news, college football news, Pete Futek. He used to be on shows over at Sports 56 when I was over there, but he wrote a story mid-spring.
Okay.
College football playoff projections. He had Memphis as the 12 seed going to South Bend to play Notre Dame as the 5 seed. So the people are already starting to make those picks, and you'll see more of those roll in because it's sort of Memphis, Boise State with Malachi Nelson potentially. Liberty. We'll see what James Madison can do if they can recreate it.
Liberty did lose their coach, but
No.
Didn't they?
No. He's still there. Jamie Chadwell's still there.
Oh, I thought he left.
They had Hugh Freeze leave, and Jamie Chadwell was his first year last year.
Oh, I thought he left last year. I thought he left. Sorry.
Yeah, but well, they've had a little revolving door. I don't blame you for thinking that, but
Yep.
there's a small group of 5 teams that are in that conversation, and Memphis is going to get that hype. They just have to live up to it. They're just going to have to live up.
I'm so ready for football season.
Me too.
Dude, we're just now in April, and I'm so ready for it.
Don't talk about it right now.
Oh, no,
Our
I'm sorry.
countdown's too far away.
I apologize.
But we do have the NFL draft coming up here, so